everyone, Andy here with RNA Landscaping. Today I got Brian from Lawn Doctor on the video here with us. And I really just want to bring Brian because we get a lot of questions from you guys either on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Everybody really asking these great questions what's the best way to get rid of weeds in your lawn? So we use Brian a lot as a resource for us. He personally does my lawn at my home. So I thought the best would be to bring him on, ask him this question, and we can really hear from him because he's obviously got more expertise in it than I do. So Brian, so go ahead. I guess what's the best way to get rid of these weeds that are in the lawn? I know once in a while they always pop up. So how can we get rid of them?
Yes, well, especially the weeds that are most common that people talk about are your clover, dandelions are the number one. But the best way for low weeds in your yard is a thick, healthy green lawn. So that's why myself and other companies or any retail program that you buy, that's why you hear the term weed and feed. That's why companies come out when they're spraying weeds. You're also on a fertilizer program because you want your lawn thick and healthy. Okay. One of the biggest mistakes I see homeowners make, it's essential that you mow your grass at a proper length. Okay. If you cut your grass short, you're going to have more weeds in your lawn. What I mean by short, optimal length is 3.5 inches. Okay. 4 inches is a great length to cut to. And the common argument I'll get from people that cut lower than that is, the lawn just doesn't look like it's mowed. It doesn't look good when it's that short. Well, if you go to my Facebook page, or if you look at some of the best looking lawns I have in our neighborhoods around here, a lot of those customers, their lawns are mowed at 4 inches. They look like they're 2 inches because they're so thick and uniform.
Yeah.
But they're mowed higher because always remember, roughly the length of your grass blade, what it's consistently cut, is the length of your root system. So the longer you mow, the deeper the roots go, the thicker your lawn gets. Lawn thickness prevents weeds. Now, going back to the edges, if you're weed whipping your edges low, that's obviously going to cause it to thin out. If you pull your weeds out on the edges or in the lawn, obviously you're going to leave some bare dirt areas. Those areas are going to have more weeds come in. So it's essential that you're keeping your edges taken care of appropriately. Using an edger is much better than a weed whip. Or if you're weed whipping or having a lawn care company weed whip, make sure they're weed whipping the edges at a proper length so you're not causing more weeds.
So, it's interesting you say this on just like the thickness of like the grass, right? Sometimes we get customers asking, because they obviously go off of what their mower says. And it's like, I raised it up to like 2 inches, but for some reason, like that mower, sometimes isn't necessarily where it should really be, or 2 inches or 3 inches or whatever. So what I always like to tell the customer, which I'm sure you guys do too, is really it's like measure the actual blade. Have the lawnmower sitting on like the driveway or whatever, and just measure the blade, right? Do you think that's a good idea?
I think that's a great idea.
So we can get like the actual,
Absolutely, and I know landscapers like yourself and other landscapers that do good work around here. They'll measure their decks on a regular basis because things can change. It's also important to note on that is that how wet is your lawn? If you have a soft soil or your lawn's wet, obviously, and you're using a riding lawnmower, those tires are going to sink into the ground, and you're going to cut the grass even lower. So if you measure it on the driveway at 3.5 inches, you might be mowing at 2.5 if you have a soft soil and it's pushing down farther. So always take that into
that's a great point. So, all right, well, cool. Thanks, Brian. I hope everyone that's listening to this, these help. If there's any questions that we can answer, feel free to comment on our video or Instagram or Facebook, and we can get Brian back on here and answer our questions for us. So thanks again, Brian, and thank you everybody for listening, and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks.
Thanks for having me, Andy.
All right, appreciate it.
Yep, bye.